So we meet again, internets. Or for the first time, if this is your first time visiting my critical corner of the YouTube-verse. Well, either way, I have an extra special treat for you. Because we're such, close personal friends, I'm taking you on an all-inclusive trip to a casino. But not just any boring casino. Oh no. We're going to a gambling establishment that makes James Bond's Casino Royale look like a sidewalk game of three-card Monte. Because, dearest pals, we're going to the Cosmic Casino. And we're betting large. What's at stake? Only a little thing called existence. It has been claimed by many that God doesn't play dice. Even Einstein shied away from the theories of quantum mechanics, a field he was in part responsible for helping to create, because he couldn't resolve that the universe seemed to be the result of probabilities. In Einstein's good company are many that believe the universe runs according to a kind of determinism, be it a natural or theological kind of predetermined cause and effect. Here to explain why God isn't a gambling man is Justin. Here to explain the house rules, me. So Justin, deal us in.
Some people say that human existence is a result of a roll of the cosmic dice. Some people say there's no purpose in the universe, no grand plan, no God behind it all. Our numbers just came up and here we are.
In essence, what you say, though in the most dismissive of tones, is more or less the way many see the universe. Though to be fair, it seems as though you're assuming that a belief in determinism, or the cause and effect nature of the universe, presupposes the belief in God, which it does not. As I mentioned earlier, Einstein believed in determinism, but he was very vocal about his opinion that a belief in a personal God was very childish. Not to say that he was right on either count, just to point out that determinism doesn't necessitate a God, or specifically, your God. However, the way the universe appears to operate at the smallest levels is based almost entirely on probabilities, or the likelihood of a thing occurring, which is the focus of the field of quantum mechanics. The most widely accepted understanding of quantum mechanics is the Copenhagen interpretation, which basically states that the probabilistic nature of quantum theory is not a placeholder explanation of reality, but an utter rejection of classic causal determinism. But I'm sure you have reasons to reject this interpretation.
If I roll this dice, the chances of getting a 6 is 1 in 6. That's not too bad. But what are the chances of me rolling 6 twice in a row? Well, the odds get longer. It's 1 in 6 times by 1 in 6. That's 1 in 36. So I'd have to be pretty lucky to get 2 6s in a row. Now every time I add the chances of rolling another 6 in a row, the odds go up exponentially and it gets even more unlikely. Now, what if I rolled this dice 70 times and every single time I got a 6? Okay, that's pretty unlikely, but it's possible, right? Well, in fact, the chances of rolling a 6 70 times in a row are around 1 in 10 to the 55. That's a 1 with 55 zeros after it.
Yes, your grasp of basic probability is astounding. The low likelihood of a thing occurring, however, doesn't mean that it cannot happen, simply that the chances are low. Just ask anyone that's ever won a jackpot on a slot machine. The odds are clearly stacked towards the casino, that's why casinos are so profitable, but jackpots get hit. The casino can even use probabilities to determine, over a period of time, how many jackpots will get paid out and even what the total valuation of those payouts is. However, they don't know which machines will hit, or when. It's very much the way quantum theory works. Using quantum mechanics, we can calculate the probability that an event will occur, but we cannot know until the event is observed whether or not the probable became the actual.
What if you applied that thinking to us? What are the odds of us being here? Now, the odds of rolling 76s in a row, 1 in 10 to the 55, as it happens, those are the same odds of something called the expansion rate of the universe being just right for the existence of us here today. From the moment of the Big Bang, when our universe began to rapidly expand, the rate of that expansion was exquisitely finely balanced. Any faster, and the universe would have expanded too rapidly to allow the formation of chemicals, atoms, stars, and galaxies. Any slower, and the universe would have collapsed back in on itself. But as it happens, the universe expanded at just the right rate to allow for life to develop in the future, for us to be here. It hit 70 rolls of the number 6 in a row, first time.
This highly improbable outcome is only improbable if taken at face value. Given a large enough sample size, even the most improbable outcome becomes very likely. Take, for example, an experiment performed by famous mentalist Darren Brown. In this experiment, Mr. Brown contacts a young woman and claims to be able to predict the outcome of a horse race and has her bet on his predicted outcome. As predicted, it wins. However, the experiment doesn't end there. He continues to make several predictions to this woman about what horses to bet on, and eventually, after making several correct predictions, reveals to her the secret of his gambling system. The secret to knowing which horse will win is sample size. He started with over 8,000 different people being reached out to with tips on the first race. If the tips didn't pan out, the people were eliminated, and only those who had won remained. Each time the people were reorganized into 6 groups, the same as the number of horses in the race. Each group would be told to bet on a different horse, and this process was repeated until there was only one winner, the young lady. He didn't know exactly what person would be the ultimate winner of this experiment, but he knew it would be someone. This is a good example of what a powerful factor sample size can be. It is also functionally similar to the many worlds theory of quantum physics, a theory which describes the universe we know as being but one of an indefinite amount of alternative universes where every possible past and future is real. This would allow for every alternate instance of our universe, translating into an impossibly large sample size. Another form of this kind of theory is Feynman's multiple histories theory, which explains that each probability, however unlikely, has a history or universe associated with it, where it became actualized. Whether or not these are merely theoretical universes, ones used simply to describe the probability of our existence, or whether they are actual alternative realities, is not really relevant. They are just 2 examples of the many possible interpretations of the data about the universe and its tendency to exist as we know it. There is no need to jump to God.
And the expansion rate of the universe is just one among 30 or so other incredibly sensitively finely tuned constants and fundamental forces in the universe that must be just the way they are for the universe to be able to produce us. So let's imagine, if I went ahead and rolled this dice 70 times, and what do you know, every time it came up 6. No waiting for trillions upon trillions of years, first time.
The seemingly perfect nature of our world can easily be explained by the Theanthropic Principle, or at least one variant of it. This principle basically states that only in a world where conscious life could develop would there be any conscious life to contemplate how perfect this universe is. A form of selection bias, basically. For a better understanding, take a look at the girl from the earlier mentioned Darren Brown experiment. The amazing feat of correctly betting on several horses would seem to her a stupendous feat of near magic. However, it would only seem that way from her perspective. If she were one of the many that didn't win in a race, it would remove the sense of wonder from her view of the events. Similarly, if conditions weren't right for organic life to evolve on Earth, or that life never developed consciousness, then we as humans wouldn't be able to marvel at how perfect this universe is for us.
Now you could come up with some speculative other theory. Maybe there's an infinite number of universes, giving you an infinite number of chances to roll the dice. Maybe. But we don't have any scientific evidence for it. So if you're hanging your hat on that possibility, then you're every bit as much committed to a faith position as the person who says God was behind it.
Nope. People in the scientific community openly debate many of these principles, theories, and interpretations. Theories that are inconsistent with what is known or that are consistently wrong in their ability to produce predictive models are thrown out. Everything must coincide with the evidence at hand. Faith is the belief or trust in someone or something, a belief which requires no proof or evidence. An intellectual leaning towards a theory based on evidence, and a consistent ability of that theory to coincide with said evidence, is quite possibly the exact opposite of faith. Science doesn't generally have the luxury of being entrenched in a position. Also, if causal determinism is real, and that did somehow mean a god, why would you assume this to be your god? I know I mentioned it earlier, but I really want to know. Oh well. Well, I guess we're done here, Justin. Think I'm gonna go hit the slots. I'm feeling lucky. For more information on any of the things I talked about, check the links. They have information. If you have time, you should also check out some of my friends' channels. We don't always agree, but we always have a good time. Links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have yourselves a science-tastic day.